All right, yeah. So I learned that you got to do that. So, yeah, we're good. So you got to balance the fucking I never knew you have to take this track and you have to like edit it together. You have to sync it, dude. Yeah. Like I never knew it was that involved and shit, but you live and you learn. All right, so we're here with AJ Galante from the Danbury Trashers, the Untold Crime and Penalties Netflix documentary. It's one of my favorite documentaries. I'm very happy that AJ was able to meet up with me. Feels great. So how we doing, man?
Doing good. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, man. So in this podcast, we love to talk about, just some stories that shaped us as people, some crazy party stories, just any stories you got, man. So, like, lay one on me real quick from the Trashers era.
Dude, I honestly, I don't. That's the thing. Like, there's no, like, Animal House stories for me, per se. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was still a teenager, so my mother wouldn't let me go on the road with them. I maybe went over to 2 seasons, 3-4 away games. My mom would be like, no, you're not going. That's only GM in professional sports where your mom tells you can't go on the road. So I don't have any personal, like, crazy stories, but I mean, God, I just know, like, after home games, like 2-3 in the morning, we'd get calls from local establishments.
Players getting into something.
You got so-and-so here just drunk, bashing beer bottles over their heads. You know what I mean? Just every weekend we were getting calls like that.
That sounds like a wingnut type of thing.
No, wingnut was nutty, no pun intended, but he really, I got to tell you, outside of the ice, he was okay with us for the most part.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think after beating up those correctional officers in Elmira, he kind of toned it down once he got to us. But no, we had a bunch. I mean, the documentary could only cover so many people. So I mean, there were so many other guys, and we'd get called, all the time, every weekend something happened.
Dude, so who would party the hardest?
I mean, I heard stories about Brent Gretzky, to be honest with you.
Brent Gretzky?
I mean, yeah, Brent Gretzky. I heard some stories about him. I heard some stories. Actually, there was a player who I think unfortunately passed away a few years back named Jerry Hickey.
Uh-huh.
I heard some stories allegedly about him. I mean, the Omacholi brothers who were in the documentary, obviously, they were always into something. So, I mean, they had a good time out here.
Mm-hmm. So, my guy Tommy, he's one of my favorite characters. My favorite line of him, dude. He goes on, and you were talking about, and he check them into the boards.
Yeah.
These middle school kids, and he goes, "Did I check them into the boards? Definitely. Cocaine is a hell of a drug." That's just the most unbelievable line I've ever heard.
Almost immediately when the documentary came out, August 31st, it was almost like we all watched it different places, but it was almost like Tommy was watching it, like, synced when I was watching it. Because as soon as I heard that line, I started pissing myself laughing. And he, like, texted me almost immediately. It was almost he was on track with me. It's like, call me back. I didn't say that. I didn't mean it like. I was like, what do you mean you didn't say that?
What do you mean?
It's right there. He goes, no. I don't do coke. And I'm like, Tommy. Whatever.
Tommy, dude, you just told fucking America you do, bro. Like, you can't go back on it now.
He's claiming somehow, even though you see him, his mouth is moving in sync with the words, he's claiming he didn't say that or whatever. So that's Tommy. Yeah. He didn't say it.
It's dubbed over. I believe him. All right, so he didn't say it.
No,
right.
He definitely didn't say exactly what he said. I know. Nut job.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I love how emotional that guy is, too. And he was just so, like, at the end, too, he's like, man, I saw Jimmy smile. Give me a second. Yeah. He's such a character.
He is emotional. I tell you, I don't know if he's looking for a Hollywood job, though, with that last one.
My God, yeah.
I don't know. But he is emotional. So it was one of those things where it's like, I know that's to be him. He's very emotional, but at the same time, I was like, he's trying to aim for a role here, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe like, General Hospital, like like those soap operas my mom will watch at like 3 in the afternoon, He could fit in easily in one of those, I think.
So everyone talks about how, at the beginning, how scary your dad can be. Have you ever seen your dad get scary?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I bring home, I come home and I chip a wall or something. You know what I mean? When I was little, I mean, my dad will, the things growing up, even with me personally, I mean, the things you think he will lose it, he won't even blink an eye. Then it'll be like the smallest thing. Like I spill a can of Sprite or something.
And then you don't tell him or something,
and
right?
He'll lose it. So my dad is very much, he has a great poker face because you just don't know. He's a wild card. You don't know what's going to set him off. And it's the thing like.
Well, you don't tell him to go fuck himself.
No, you never.
That's another one of my favorites.
I've never done that one, but no, I mean, listen, he's got a temper for sure. I mean, he's still got it. He's mellowed out a little, but it's still in there. But no, I mean, with me growing up, me and my sister got away with murder. Candace, if she's listening, she had it so easy. But no, I mean, it's just you never know what was gonna set him off.
Yeah. So, let's see here. So, they mentioned The Sopranos a couple times in the documentary. Have you seen The Sopranos?
It's funny because obviously I knew when the show came out what the show was, but I didn't watch it like live, like as it was going on. Like I ended up like, I think, what did the series end in, like 06, 07 or something like that, I want to say.
Yeah.
It was after, like, I got a box DVD set for Christmas once from somebody, and I watched it, like, after the fact. I didn't really watch it totally, like, in its prime, I guess. You know what I mean? It was kind of like an afterthought for me. And I think the same for my dad. I mean, he saw it, but, listen, it's one of those things where, I don't know where the label came from, he's the I don't know. I mean, it's not like David Chase came over to meet us at dinner.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, anyone from HBO come?
Never. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, around here, there's a million guys who probably think it's based on them or,
Yeah.
But who the hell knows? I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where it kind of just, sometimes if a media stamps you with a label, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, obviously, I'm not stupid. I see some of the, like, the correlate, the connections, the friggin' kid AJ, which is the worst thing you could ever. I hate that comparison, but
I know.
Sure.
Dude, and you know what? The thing is like, even if they were taking your story, I feel like they made AJ like a dingus there just because it's funny. But if I were to, you're more of a Billy Bean, you like a Moneyball type situation.
Everyone always like, oh, AJ Soprano. I'm like, I'd rather be Meadow Soprano than AJ Soprano.
Yeah, seriously.
You know what I mean? But no, I mean, I get where people, they start like really analyzing it, and what do you know? Who knows?
Yeah. So I'm wondering, can you tell me how much you were making back then?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Zero? Zippity doo dah. I got no salary.
No fucking way.
No, man. No. I didn't get a pay. No, I mean, my dad too. I mean, we weren't really turning a profit the first 2 years even,
Okay.
So no, I mean,
so you were thinking down the line though, you guys would be turning a profit for sure.
Honestly, man, and
it's like a long-term investment.
I'm not the best business guy because money doesn't necessarily move me. So it's like, I'm not like, and part of that might be because I've been fortunate growing up, I mean? So I don't, like, the first thing I don't think about, and not that there's anything wrong with it, that's what a normal person should do is, well, how much am I going to get paid for this?
Yeah.
But that wasn't something that moved us. We were trying to build something special for the city here. We were trying to do something for our legacy. And, I mean, did we ever think 16, 17 years from now we'd still be talking about this team?
Yeah.
No chance in hell. But, locally we were just trying to build a culture out here, a hockey culture, something different. You know what I mean? It was more than just hockey anyway. But no, I mean we didn't get paid. I mean my dad didn't get paid. I didn't get paid. You know, we just were doing things.
Yeah, dude. Usually when you're doing something you love, you're not gonna get paid for a long time.
No,
anyways.
but listen, I mean, we expected, you know, honestly, going into the third season, we probably were gonna start turning a serious profit. I mean, the way we were going, the success of the team, merchandising, you know, the whole 9 yards. We were really we were turning the corner there, and then, you know, unfortunately, it all just kind of blew up.
Mm-hmm. Now, how do you view the situation? Like, do you wish the Trashers were run as a clean-cut organization? Do you feel like disdain that there was issues involved, or do you feel like you never would have even been able to bring that franchise to where it was without?
Honestly, man, I think it was just destined to, you know, sometimes things rise so quickly. But as quickly as you go up, that's how they come down. You know what I mean? I mean, we all kind of knew the risks that were going on, possibly and allegedly. But, you know, listen, I wouldn't change anything. I mean, there's franchises that have been around 50 years that no one even knows.
And they stink.
And we're here 2 seasons. We didn't even win a championship. And people are still talking about it. I mean, it's insane to me, to be honest. I mean, every time I talk to someone, it's just like, I can't believe people are just so interested in this story. And it's super humbling to us, you know, just how interested people are. It's really an amazing thing.
Yeah, dude, like you said, seriously, like the Trashers are definitely more popular than like the Houston Texans. Who the fuck who's even their quarterback now? Since Deshaun Watson's gone, dude, I
forgot about Deshaun Watson even. I mean, it's just, you know what it is too, bro? It's like we're in 2021 where an athlete could shoot somebody today, and in 3 days, you'll forget that story. Things happen so fast.
Yeah.
That's why I think the story with us maybe resonates, because it was during a different time, bro. Like, the time was so different back then. Like, when you made news back then, you made news back then. You know what I mean?
Like papers all across the country.
I still get, like, I'm an 80-year-old man. I still get home delivery papers. Like, I get the New York Post and the Danbury News Times. Like, literally every day, like, I'm an 80-year-old man still. And to me, like, if you made the paper back then, it was like, wow. You know, as a kid, if you saw yourself in the paper, that was like, that's going viral.
Mind blowing. Yeah, it's like going viral on the fucking Twitter.
But I just think, like, we live in a time, man, like, I see it every day here, especially too. Like, kids today, not just kids, like, people will do anything to try to get famous. Like, they will do anything, like rub peanut butter on themselves or something and run around naked. Like, people will do anything just to go viral, where we had no intentions of being big. Like, we had no intentions of being anything other than like a little local minor league team. We had no intentions on being big or famous or even internationally known at this point. You know, we had no intentions. It was just such I think people like these guys, we were just authentic. We were genuine. I mean, the whole thing grew organically. I mean, we weren't trying to be funny or crazy. We were. And that's the reality of it. So many people have asked me, like, all right, AJ, that was a great doc, but how embellished was some of it? Seriously, I'm like, you know what the scary thing is? It's like 98.66666% like accurate. I mean, it's seriously, I mean, and that's kind of scary. I'm 35 now, and I look back and I'm like, holy shit, this really was insanity. I mean, it was accurate, and I was just like, it's crazy to think that people, I've read comments, people think it's fake. They're calling it they're calling it a mockumentary. They're like, this can't be real. This is staged. Like, you know, they kind of threw this episode in the Untold series to kind of like, people think like we scripted this thing, and I'm like, dude, that couldn't be.
How
more
could
false.
you even script that even?
Well, they think you're embellishing in this, and
look,
I'm telling you, I mean, liar, my pants aren't on fire, man. We're not lying. That shit was really happening, and it's crazy to think about. It really is. It was insanity. But I think people like the story because they feel like, okay, this is authentic. Like, this isn't, you know, this is like everything's so material now. Like, it's not. you see funny videos online sometimes, and they're trying to pass it as like real, authentic videos or something.
Yeah,
It's
like
no,
they're trying to act out a
this
situation
is
like it
not
happened.
real. Like I used to do prank videos as a kid with my little camera. Like I know fake and real. Like I mean, so who knows, man? It's just the whole thing is nuts.
Yeah, dude, I agree. And like you said about like everyone just tries to put out like just some bullshit to get famous and everything.
I saw my wife sent me a video. And my wife, God bless her, she'll believe a lot of the videos she'll see. Like she sent me a video the other day of some woman like who broke her man's windows of her car because of some situation. I'm like, this is so fake. This is not a real.
Yeah.
Like this isn't real. You
Like
know?
they're friends with a repairman.
Yes. This is not a real video, and it's just I don't know, man. It's crazy out there right now.
So, dude, all right, I want to get back to like, dude, so you seriously were never partying with the team back then? Because I'm going to be honest with you. If I was 17 in your position, I don't know if I would have lived. I don't know if I would be alive.
You know, the funny thing is this. Here's the thing. First of all, I promise you, like, you talk about my dad. My mom ruled with an iron fist, too.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, she's like, you can't go, you know. And the guys wouldn't want me around anyway. Because it would have been.
Why not?
They would have known we would have gotten in trouble.
Because you're still their boss.
Yeah, well, it's weird because I guess I never carried myself as their boss, right? So that was always like my dad's label. I knew as a 17 and even 18-year-old kid, I'm not going to be able to tell a grown man what to really do, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I can't approach it like that. Like, I think I gained their respect in other ways, and I was with them all the time. I'd be at team meetings. I would be doing things that technically I really wouldn't have to do. We'd be playing PlayStation all hours of the night. I mean, they became literally like brothers in a way. But there was a line, and you don't get too comfortable, and vice versa. And I don't know. We just made it work. I mean, I got along with all the guys. They were all great. But no. And the thing is, I mean, I didn't drink. I was boring, man. I mean, people think like I was this big, exciting guy. I mean, I was a little crazy, but honestly, man, I really wasn't that fun. So I don't think they'd want me there anyway because I wasn't like into a lot of that stuff anyway. So it worked out because if I was tagging along, you know, Lord knows what could have happened. So it all worked itself out.
Mm-hmm. So I remember at the end, Tommy's talking about the game with the last game with the Wingfield fight.
Yeah.
So he was saying people were preparing like they were going into war. Like a couple guys would smoke some cigarettes, like some guys would take some shots. Dude, was that ever like a regular occurrence? Because you kind of think about it, it's like most of these games they're going out to fight and then play hockey. So it's like maybe you got to get in the right headspace.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was always Gatorade in the locker room, but it was definitely guys were hyped up. I mean, they were hyped up. I can't say I personally have any knowledge of certain things, but like I said, I don't know if it was always fruit punch and lemon lime Gatorade or Powerade or whatever we had back then. But no, I mean, you know, that game especially, that was a very crazy situation, and guys it was just a different environment at the time for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like sports were different too.
Everything was different back then. I mean, you know, you're living back then and you're wishing you're older and I want to know what it's like in 2020. And now it's like, God, what?
I wish I didn't
what
out.
I would do. I've learned today is tomorrow's good old days, man. So like even now, like, you know, there's things going on you may be pissed at, but a year from now you'll maybe missing today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you just adjust with the times as much as you can, man. That's all you could do.
Absolutely. Okay. All right.
That's how we have to end the interview.
Yeah.
Clap. That should be your thing with the guests. That's
all right.
How you start, and that's how we'll end it too.
Actually, I'm definitely gonna edit that out because that's just what you do to line up shit, to sync shit.
No, that's gotta be your opening and closing now. That's how you greet. That's how you greet your guests and ends it. Right. I'm telling you, man, that's gotta be your thing. Then after you do like 20 guests, you have like a compilation, just bunch of claps.
Of all the claps.
That's what you got to do, man. Mm-hmm. That could be a tagline, you know. get the clap. You know what I mean?
Oh no.
See?
I've never had it yet. Well, that's why I'm in a relationship, because I don't want to deal with you never know. We got the coronavirus now. What kind of STDs we got coming?
Yeah, I mean, growing up, that's what you worry about is STDs. Now it's like COVID, you know? It's like little kids more worried about COVID than like the clap. You know, you don't know. It's crazy out there.
All right, so did were any of your hockey players back on the team? Were any of them actual boxers, or were they just street trained?
Mostly street trained, but there were a couple guys like Wingfield.
Rigorous street training.
Yeah,
though.
yes. Very they definitely got their master's license in street fighting, some of them. But no, a lot of them did train. I mean, we did have heavy bags and stuff in the locker room where, you know, we had weights and stuff, but there was a lot of guys that definitely, you know, and you'd say, like, obviously they should be training, but no, a lot of hockey guys, they don't train in boxing. But no, we had guys, I know Brad Wingfield, obviously, he trained a lot. He actually trained a lot in MMA, too, like jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. I mean, he was a legit, and still is a legit badass. But yeah, a lot of the guys, a lot of our guys, you know, even skilled guys, you know, trained a lot of boxing. It's honestly, it's a good cardio workout, too. So aside from the toughness factor and kind of be prepared with your hands, I mean, a lot of guys trained.
Mm-hmm. So if you had to pick two players to go against each other on the Trashers in a fight against each other, who do you think you would choose as the toughest guys, and who do you think would win?
Oh boy. Well, Brad Wingfield and then John Morasti. I mean, John Morasti, who wasn't featured in the doc, unfortunately. Whoa, that is, you're going to get me in trouble. I don't know. I'm going to go double knockout then or something, but that would be a fight. I mean, those two in minor league hockey circles, I mean, they're arguably two of the top 10 fighters of all time. Minor league, you know, circuit. Two different styles, too. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
no problem.
Winger, Brad Wingfield was, you know, any means necessary. You know what I mean? He's just gonna brawl with you. He'll take you down. He used to have this little pinch move when he got you down, like
like a little titty twister.
Yeah, not a titty because you're covered, but in between like your in between like your pants and your shoulder, there's like a little exposed area.
Yeah. He grabbed the excess flab.
Yeah, he gets you. That sucks. He did. He did it to me when I beat him in PlayStation once. He was really upset with me. But John Morasti. Nasty Morasti, he was about 5'6", 5'7", built like a vending machine. I mean, and he was a showman. I mean, he would smile at you the whole time. He's like a little gnat, but dude, I'm telling you, and I'm not trying to be derogatory. I mean, he had a head on him, like you could hit him with a sledgehammer, and he would just eat it. Like he would not feel. Like, his biggest strength to me was his chin. I mean, I would see him battle guys almost a foot taller than him and just getting pounded. Mm-hmm. Like, you and I would shit our pants. That's how bad he was getting punched.
Yeah.
And he would just go. I'm telling you, YouTube John Morasti later. And, I mean, he had super fast hands. I mean, he could get like 100 punches off in a minute. Super strong. But his chin, man, I mean, guys couldn't hurt him. I mean, it was literally like punching a wall. I mean, you could not hurt this guy, and he's just going to keep going.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I got my ass kicked by some 5'6" guy once. It was brutal.
Well, listen,
he's like a wrestler's fucking.
Well, the little guys you got to watch because they're always naturally angry. We got a young.
Yeah, because they got the Napoleon thing going on.
Yeah, we got a boxer out of here. He's 140 pounds, Omar. And he's always has that little guy. He's always angry.
He's got to prove it.
He's always angry. But, yeah, man, that would obviously be the fight. You know, Wingfield and Morasti. I'm glad it never happened throughout their careers, you know, when they played elsewhere because I both love those guys. But if they had to fight each other, they would. That's the funny thing about hockey is, you know, when I grow up and I'm watching hockey and you're playing video games, you just want to beat the shit out of everyone, you know?
Yeah.
You're thinking, like, these guys hate each other. Like, you're watching the games and you're like, oh, they hate each other. This is crazy. These guys, these enforcers, first of all, they're all friends. They all in that little elite circle, that little culture of hockey fighters, enforcers. They're all friends. And when I learned that with the Trashers,
Really?
dude, I'm
That's
telling
weird.
you,
That's weird.
90 to 95% of them are all friends. I'm telling you. And I didn't know that. And when I got into pro hockey culture, because I didn't make it past high school hockey, when I got into, the pro culture of hockey, 17 years old, dealing with these guys, again, we're thinking like these guys all hate each other. They all know, like, but they will beat that. Like, they will, like, I'll never forget it. John Morasti, I'll never forget. We're playing Muskegon. They're out of Michigan. And before the game, he goes, hey, listen, a really good buddy of mine that I grew up with, his name is Nolan. I forget his last name, but his name is Nolan. We really should bring him in next year. He'd be perfect here. I'm friendly with him. I could watch over him. I literally grew up with him. He's naming his parents. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's freaking awesome, dude. So I was like, yeah, we'll definitely consider it. Game starts. They're fighting. And Morassi's beating the shit out of this guy. Like, bad. And I was like, I'm putting 2 to 2 together when I hear the announcer say the guy's, the penalties. I'm like, Nolan. I said, he just told me. So after the game, I'm like, John, was that the guy you were telling me to bring in? He goes, yeah. He goes, actually, I'm going to have him come up to the locker room and meet you. Great guy. I'm like, you just beat the shit out of this guy. He goes, yeah, I got to do what I got to do. I mean, it's hockey.
Yeah, dude. It's like fucking going to work.
That's when I realized, I'm like, wow, I get it. I get it now. And these guys are so humble, but they got a job to do. It doesn't matter. If it's their brother, they're going to fight their brother. It's crazy. It's like when I started in boxing, we had the gym, and you see guys spar. And it's a little uncomfortable when you first see it because it's kind of like, they're not trying to hurt each other, but you're punching these guys in the face. It's not a normal thing.
It's not.
And then after it's all fun and it's like a respect thing. It's crazy. But yeah, that's how it was, man.
I kind of understand that for like, you ever like have someone who like doesn't like you or just like tries to shit on you and then you like get physical with them and then you're like buddies after? It's weird.
One of my best friends growing up, we were arch enemies through 4th grade. Okay.
Yeah.
We just were arch enemies, and then one day, I don't know, we just out of nowhere just squashed it. You know what I mean? We best friends ever since to this day. But you're right. It's that, this world is so afraid of conflict, but it's a natural thing.
Seriously.
Conflict, what I tell people is confrontation is actually a skill people need to learn, because confrontation isn't always a negative thing. Like, if we have a problem, what's worse? Confronting it head on, no matter where it's going to go, and then it'll probably settle? Or do we hang on to this for like years against each other, right?
Yeah. Hurting
ourselves, or maybe it turns into something
positive
bigger down
change.
The line. Exactly. So confrontation, I think people take it as a negative, but confrontation is definitely a skill people should learn. There's a way to, depending on the situation, there's a way to go about it. And I think that's something, listen, I'm sounding like I'm 80, but society now I think is a lot softer than it was. But, it's not a bad thing. It's okay to disagree. It's okay to not like someone. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's how you deal with it, and some people it's just different now, man. I'm sounding like a 90-year-old man right now, but it's just different. It's crazy to see.
Dude, I think you learned from the best about conflict.
Well, I don't know if I learned from the best how to handle conflict.
Okay.
I don't know if my confrontation skills are to be desired by people, because listen, like I said, conflict skills I learned were a little different. I'm not saying they were directly taught to me, but it's things you see. I don't know if that's... I'm learning my confrontational skills as I go. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
But no, it's listen. We live in a world where people think everyone's gonna get along. It's not gonna get along with.
It's not gonna happen, man.
Listen, I could cook you the most beautiful piece of prime rib, medium rare, the whole everything, and then you'll tell me I'm a vegan. I don't eat meat. You could have something so good, but not everyone's gonna want it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it's just that was a weird analogy. But
No, I like it.
I'm hungry, so that's a very. I think I'm gonna have that for dinner. But I'm very hungry. But no, but that's what I mean, man. You can't not everyone's gonna get along. It's just there's not enough time in your life to like meet every person in the world and get them
And
to like
be friends with it.
It's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah, dude.
It's
yeah.
not gonna happen.
Dude, yeah, and I've went through like trying to be a people pleaser before
Yeah.
too, and it's like especially like I'm trying to be a comedian. Like I don't really give a fuck if you
Yeah.
like me or not. Like if
Yeah.
I made you laugh, then I did my
Yeah,
job.
that's it.
If I didn't make you laugh, like I don't know,
Alright.
go find someone else.
Yeah, tune out. I mean, people are like, we've gotten a couple of negative reactions to the doc. Nothing major, but it's just like, all right, then tune out, asshole. What do you want me to tell
Yeah,
you?
seriously.
Just turn Netflix off. What do you keep
You want me to
watching?
delete my story from fucking life?
Yeah, I'm like, all right, then you don't like it. What are you gonna do? I mean, I don't know what to tell. But yeah, same thing. People pleasing is tough because to this day I still do that at times, and you're trying to make everyone happy, but it's impossible.
It is impossible.
You'll kill yourself. You'll end up literally harming yourself, like internally trying to, because not everyone's gonna like it,
Yeah, and dude, I bet like especially like how much you got a lot of shit going on since the documentary, right? I mean, I saw your Instagram account surpassed me in followers easily in like a couple days. It was unbelievable.
It's the weirdest thing, man. I mean, before the doc dropped, we were at like 800 followers. you
Yeah.
know? And then it was like between the doc, this guy Drake, and everything. It was like
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
like 26,000 followers. It's insane. It's insane. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and like I said, I mean, I don't know what else to keep posting up there. I mean,
Yeah, you're running out of shit.
We don't play anymore. It's not like we have a schedule to release. You know what I mean? But listen, man. I try to interact with people. I'm up all hours of the night responding to people, and I just feel like I owe it to, if people are gonna take time to like send me a message, no matter what, even if I've gotten a couple negative ones, and I'll just write back like, hey man, thanks for watching,
Yo, dude, yeah, I've done that before too.
Like I'll just respond. Like people, someone said something once about me. I don't know what it was. It wasn't a big deal, and I was just like, your mom. You know what I mean? Like the ultimate '90s thing. The ultimate '90s response is your mom.
Yeah.
I just wrote your mom. I don't care, dude. I don't care.
Just move on with your life.
Yeah, your mom. That's stood the test of time, man. You tell a kid in here, a young kid nowadays, your mom, that's good material, man. Got to go with your mom.
Dude, so what didn't stand the test of your time was your clothing style. What made you switch it up from Vanilla Ice?
God, man. Listen, this is what I try to explain. I don't care what anyone says. How old are you actually?
I'm 23.
All right, so listen, I promise you, I'm not saying it looked good now, especially. I don't even know if it looked that good back then either. But if you go around this area, those years, that's how it was.
Yeah.
Triple to 4X long white tees.
Yeah. From
Shorts,
Foot Locker.
Shorts down to your ankles where they look like capri pants. Listen, I know it looks crazy. I know, but look, these kids come in skin tight, like these kids wear, I'm like, you're making fun of me.
There's all weird shit.
I said, look, you guys are making, the kid's been torturing me since this thing came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're roasting me. They're like, what? And I'm just like, listen, man, look how you took an hour to put those pants on. You know what I mean? Don't talk to me. But no, man, I mean, that's how it was, man. I'm going to stick, listen, it's not the most flattering thing, but I'm sticking to how it was back then.
Yeah, dude, I look back at like my high school pictures and stuff, and even that's like recent. It was within 10 years.
It's tough, man. It's tough when you put yourself out on Front Street like that, and then you're on a Netflix doc and people from all over.
Oh, yeah.
It's tough, man. It was like, oh god. I mean, that was like literally the introduction to me in the documentary was that stupid hat flip thing I used to do. And
Dude, I loved that. Nah, that's why you texted me and you were like, dude, I know I can be funny. I was like watching that shit. I was like, yeah, dude, you don't have to tell me that. That's why I asked you to do my podcast.
That's why it was funny, because I wasn't trying to be funny. I really thought I was doing it back then. Like that little freaking chain thing I did. Oh man, when I saw that, I was just like, literally my phone started. All these kids were roasting me, and it was hilarious. But what are you gonna? If you can't laugh at yourself, you can't do anything, man.
Absolutely.
That's it. You gotta laugh at yourself.
Yeah, dude, because like,
and it's so funny because of that. I get the funniest reactions I get to this doc, for me personally, is the greatest like underhand compliment ever. I hear, I wanted to fucking hate AJ when I first saw him in this doc. I hated this kid, but I ended up liking him in the end. So it's funny because it's like so many people when they first see me were like, I hate you. And then it's like they end up, they kind of like you. So You know that? Hey.
Dude, that's the way that they made the film.
Yeah,
and,
it was smart.
They made, yeah, dude,
I called the producers, Mac and Chat Way, the best guys in the world. And I'm like, oh, you guys got me a few times in there. They got me pretty good. They edited some good stuff, making me look crazy. But we were laughing, man. They crafted it right. But yeah, so many people. That's all I hear. People messaging me. I got a message from a guy from Australia. Literally.
Yeah.
I hated you. Thanks, buddy. But no, I ended up liking you. You're cool now. Oh, thank you, mate. Like I don't know. Thanks, mate. You know, like it's just so funny, but that's how it was.
Dude, so with the Drake thing, do you consider yourself a certified lover boy?
Oh, by default, I'm a certified lover boy. I mean, we've only played Drake in this gym since then. Like, that's it now. I told everyone we're on Drake for at least 2 months straight. That's it.
Absolutely.
No
you
Kanye,
gotta.
No Kanye West. We're right in the middle of this beef here, and that's it, man.
Damn, yeah, that's like the biggest plug ever. So you're not even a Kanye fan?
Listen, I got to be honest with you. I'm not a big music guy to begin with. Even growing up, I wasn't a music fanatic. Like, I listened to music for energy. There were certain rappers that I liked and stuff not even because I was even hearing what they were saying. It's just an energy. Like, I always ran on energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not one of these guys you could ask me music things and, like, analyze lyrics and have, like, a top 10 list. I don't friggin' know. I just liked, like, DMX was my guy growing up. I mean, you want to punch a concrete wall after listening
Absolutely.
to him.
You want to,
that was my pre-hockey music when I played. I mean, DMX, all those guys. And but I've never, I can't say I'm not a fan because I haven't really listened to him, Kanye, but I never was a fan to begin with. There was something about him, but now that, we're certified lover boys here, I can't like him anyway. Even if I wanted to, I can't. So that's it, man.
Dude, yeah, I'm a certified lover boy as well. I have a girlfriend.
That's nice.
How you doing?
That's sweet, man.
If you're listening.
That's very sweet.
Yeah. So you're married, right?
Yes. Happily married. I got happily married, Kim. And I'm very lucky. I don't deserve her. See, that was.
Oh, I feel the same way.
That's the lover boy in me.
Yeah,
but yeah. I don't deserve her, but I'm very happily married. Yes.
Dude, so what would the team listen to in the locker room before they go out there?
It's so weird because the 2 seasons, we've had, dozens of different guys and combinations of guys, and they all got along. Always got along. Seriously. There was no ever like teammate beefs or anything like that. The only issues we'd have is sometimes with the music. And you had like cliques a little bit. Everyone got along, but you had like the French Canadians, right? Then you had like Toronto Canadians, Vancouver Canadians. So it's like, most, and then you'd have, Americans or whoever else too. But there was like that techno side to the guys, and then you'd have, a little group that wanted hip hop and stuff. And then you had guys that wanted country. So it was kind of like, it was one of those things where, at first, it was kind of like, it was like jail rules. It was like whoever got to the stereo first. I mean, that's what was playing, And then, then it would, then they got on this like weird shuffle rotation. Probably when the iPod first came out, then it became like a shuffle thing. And, but I heard a lot of techno in there. I heard a lot of techno in there.
That gets you fucking going.
Yeah, it was like,
gets you going, man.
Like I heard that a lot. You'd hear that echoing through the arena. So heard a lot of techno.
Dude, who's getting pumped up to beat some ass to country music? It's like I'm baling my hay.
Yeah,
I'm getting my corn.
I can't do it. My one-eyed dog
brutal.
Willie.
Yeah.
No, I don't know, man. But it's funny, man. I'm telling you, I would hear it sometimes. But man, a crazy mix in there. Crazy mix of music for sure.
Dude, so I was thinking about what Tommy said about the whole deal where he was like he would go and fuck kids up in the boards and stuff. And I was thinking, dude, so you played a lot of NHL like
video games,
right? You ever just like make a player and you just make them huge, right?
Of course, 7 feet. Somehow they're hockey player like almost 7 feet tall, like 280, but it's like 90 speed. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, dude. I feel like I feel like what he was doing was probably
Yeah.
so fun because it's like, all right, so you do some cocaine and then you go out there and it's like you're basically that player, but in real life and you're high.
It was a fantasy. I mean, he
That
definitely
sounds
he was
amazing.
definitely like, it was like fantasy camp for him for sure. I mean, just burying people, just little kids, just burying people. It was.
Do you ever bury you?
Oh yeah, of course. He was hardest on me because I mean he was working for my dad at the time, so
Yeah.
you know my dad was always like, "Don't go easy, just because he's my son. Don't go easy on him." And bury me, hook me.
So you go harder on you.
Of course, yeah. I mean, he brought me home. He brings me home once. It was in the summer. It was like a summer camp, and it was like early August. It was like 100 degrees out. You know that disgusting heat. And, you know, we just got done with a hockey practice. So, you know, even as a little kid, you know, your equipment bag's like, feels like it's 1,000 pounds, right?
Yeah.
We had this long driveway growing up, my house. This guy, Tommy, like, dropped me off like 2 streets over in the heat. I had to walk with my bag all the way up the driveway. I'll never forget him doing that to me. Fucking prick. Yeah, I remember that. It was friggin' hot, too. I remember that day like yesterday. Yep. He made me walk with that big equipment bag. He's like, all right, get out. I got to go. And it just peels off.
Dude, so you were telling me about he's opening a cigar lounge now?
Yes. He's opening a
What
cigar
better
lounge.
mean for him?
Yeah. I mean, one of the cover arts for the doc is him with a cigar, I think.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
is.
That could be this. I mean, he might have to pay Netflix, but he's got a logo. He's got everything all built in. It just fell right on his lap now.
So on those nights where they said, you know, after a win, Jimmy might come in and just drop 10K on the floor. What are the guys doing with 10K in one night?
My dad was pissed about that. He's like, I don't remember doing that. Like when he saw the doc, he's like, I didn't throw 10,000. It was 5. And I'm like, I don't know. I know. I was like, I don't know, Dad. I saw, you know, I don't know. Allegedly, obviously. But no, I mean, like I said, couple, you know, right by the arena, a couple local establishments, clubs, etc.
Yeah, what was their favorite one?
So believe it or not, it's not there anymore. Literally across from the rink, there was like, I want to say it was like a sports bar or something. They would go there a lot. It was literally like the rink, parking lot, this place. And they would it's not there anymore. I honestly forget the name of it, but they must have done good with the Trashers in town for sure. But yeah, they would frequent there a lot. You know, a couple of local places, TK's.
Yeah, I just drove by that.
Yeah, TK's. They would go to a lot.
They got good food. I might eat there later.
Good wings.
Good wings?
Yeah, good wings.
All right, cool.
Very
cool.
good wings. TK's. Yeah, a bunch of different places. They'd you know, we'd get the calls. We'd know because they'd be getting kicked out or something.
So what kinds of people were showing up to the games? Like, what kinds of people did you really, like, encapture?
Like I said in the doc, I mean, we created, like, a wrestling heel character, right? So anyone that roots for the bad guy is who we were marketing to, really. And, I mean, we had... Every team says it, but we had the most passionate people. I mean, literally, you know, with us. You know what I mean? I mean, we had, but from everywhere. I mean, you'd have a construction worker sitting next to a lawyer, sitting next to a doctor, who's sitting next to a guy who just got out of prison. I mean,
Man.
it was like, it was such a mix of people.
Yeah.
And that's what we represented. I mean, it wasn't like, there was no like, everyone was just one. You know what I mean? Everyone came together. It really was like a community. It truly was.
A lot of places where I was at, if you go to a minor league game, you'll find an alcoholic sitting next to an alcoholic, sitting next to an alcoholic. So it's kind of cool that you got everyone.
We had those too, but you threw in some white collar guys in there here and there. But you had a mix of everyone. Seriously, you'd have kids, you'd have older. You know, it was nuts. I mean, you had a mix of everyone from all over. I mean, even drawn from New York City would come up. I mean, I swear to God.
Especially during the lockout.
Yeah, I
because
mean, people were coming from literally. I mean, people would come and say hi to us. Oh, we came from Boston. We came from New York. We came from upstate Syracuse. It's from all over, and I mean, it was just it's like I said. Even then, it was such a humbling thing that people would spend hard-earned money and time to come to one of our games. It's a feeling it's hard to describe. Mm-hmm. When did you know you were funny? Was it
When
early?
did I know I was funny?
Like
Probably when I started trying to talk to girls. Because it wouldn't work.
You have
know?
any good lines, or you try to be? Would you? Is that because everyone's got an angle? Like my angle growing up, I wouldn't make the first move. I somehow, if they came up to me, that was different.
Yeah.
I would play that like mysterious role. But some guys were funny. Like one of my good friends, Eric, my cousin, too. I mean, they go the comedy route, and you're right. Thinking about it, they could probably do stand up. That could have been when you saw your where you wanted to go with it, man.
Yeah,
I
dude.
could see you being funny. I could see you doing all right with girls with the comedy. You got laughs.
I got through college pretty well.
You got some laughs.
Well, yeah, because I got I was at college. You were an owner of a team. I was a straight up loser, and I was still getting some ass.
No, man. No, I was a good boy. I wasn't doing anything like that. You probably did better than me. I'm telling you. I promise you did. I'm telling you right now.
Well, whatever. Hey, you're married. I got my girlfriend.
That's right, man. Hey.
You gotta find a nice one. That's what it's all about, anyways.
Gotta find a nice one. It's a scary world out there for these young kids.
It is, yo.
Girls are.
Think about hooking up with people. Like, think about being in hookup culture nowadays, dude. Are you fucking kidding me?
Just going to the supermarket. These kids today showing me, I go here, I tap this one, got that. I'm like, back in the day, I mean, we didn't have any crutches. I mean, we had AOL. I mean, you could try to talk to a girl on AOL back then. That's probably before your time.
Yeah, that was like my brother and sister.
Yeah, AOL. Ask them about group chats, like, I don't even know. They're chat rooms, whatever, man. That's the closest we had. But nah, man, these kids, it's a different world.
Yes, it is. So my first guest, everybody, give it up for AJ Galante. Thank you very much for doing this with me. I appreciate it. He's a great guy. That's it.